and welcome to Hoffman's Hot Seat. I'm Tom Hoffman with One-to-One Media, coming to you from the Gartner Customer 360 Summit in Los Angeles. I'm joined today by Chris Morace, Senior Vice President of Business Development at Jive Software. And today Chris and I will be talking about different ways that companies can use social business software to engage both their customers as well as their employees. Chris, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Tom.
So, Chris, there's so much buzz about social these days, including, what constitutes social CRM and what social CRM is and is not. If you can, tell us about how companies can use social business software to engage both their employees as well as their customers.
Sure. I think there's a lot of confusion right now. Partly, I'm not a huge fan of social CRM as a term because I think it comes with a lot of baggage in terms of what people think of as CRM. When we talk about social business, we're really talking about using a lot of the social innovation we've seen in our consumer lives and our personal lives, and basically putting that to the purposes of helping employees and partners and customers connect together for the purpose of getting work done. So we think it's about customer engagement. We think absolutely there's a bunch of ways, depending on your business, to implement this to get a lot of value. But we think even though we are technology vendors, we think you really need to start with your business strategy, and then we have the technology platform that will help you enable you to connect with your customers in a new way to get work done.
Okay, great. So can you also tell us about ways that companies can use social business software and determine how they can derive business value from it, how they can measure that?
Of course, yeah. So Jive really has a few components of our platform. We have a piece that the employees sit on. So large companies will use us to pull together their entire employee base across departments to work together more effectively. We've got a piece that will sit outside the firewall. And so customers, for instance, like Nike Run Club or VMworld, or you can take something like Schwab's active trader communities, they'll use that as a means for their customers to come engage with each other, and then we can bridge those together so they can engage with the company as well. And those examples that I mentioned, for instance, Nike saw 40% conversion of non-Nike shoe wearers to their product after they joined the community. Schwab saw an increase in trading of 80% because they track traders across all their platforms. So the ones who joined, they basically would motivate each other to do more trades.
Yeah.
VMworld saw a tremendous increase in terms of their engagement with the customer because before they were holding a sort of one-time annual event. And so they all had very different motivations and purposes, but they get a lot of value. I think one of the most exciting things is about a year ago, we acquired a company called Filterbox, and this was at the time what was thought of as social media monitoring technology, and we had the insight that customers are going to have these conversations and talk about your brand and your product and give feedback wherever they happen to be, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Jive community. We think listening is important, but we really thought an engagement tool was there, not just for marketers, but for folks across the enterprise, right? Customer service. So you imagine a world where someone is having trouble with the product, and they kind of flame out on Twitter as they often do, or say something on Facebook, which is going to be viewable for people kind of forever. You have the opportunity to pull that in, apply analytics on it, so you kind of know, like, is this person really well followed? Do people know who he is or she is? But then you can reply back, and imagine where you reply back with, like, I'm sorry you're frustrated, here's a link back to the resolution of that, or I'm sorry you're frustrated, click here to talk to a services agent, and you're not expecting them to come find you. You're going to them, and I think that's going to change the whole landscape of the way we interact with customers.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So, in addition to Nike and VMworld, are there examples of other companies that are using social business tools effectively, particularly for customer engagement?
Yeah, so we have quite a few. So, for instance, Musician's Friend is on Jive's platform. They use us. We just recently launched with Sony for their God of War site, and so they actually created this for all the gamers who play, and provides a great platform for them, not only to generate energy around the game, but they get a ton of feedback on the game, on what folks like, on what they don't like. So for all of them, a lot of our customers, they view this as a way to get closer to their customer base, right? Whether it's a consumer or whether it's another business. And we have a lot, like SAP uses us to engage with 2,000 other companies that are in the partner network, right? And so it's not sort of an end user on Twitter, it's somebody they work with. And right now, the only way they could have done that before might have been a portal or email, which is not a really effective way to kind of have a conversation, really understand what's working and not working. So we're seeing companies across all verticals really finding new ways to reach out and get closer to the customer.
Great. Well, Chris, thanks so much for your time today.
Absolutely. Thank you.